Hey Mel, hey George, how you doing? Started a couple of minutes early. Hey Richard, how is everybody today? Yeah, yeah, good. Got over my cold, had a tooth out, had pain for a week, but I'm getting there. Getting ready for Christmas now. Can't believe it's just around the corner. Yeah, yeah. I'm back just after Christmas. Well, just after the New Year. Okay. Morning, Mel. I don't blame you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back. Okay, I'll start at the top of the hour anyway. And it's being recorded anyway. Okay. My watch keeps going off because my wife's spending money. How you doing, Ross? Morning, George. Okay, we're at the top of the hour. I have some exciting news. We have started back work on the Guardian zones for TradingView. Okay, so at the moment, this is what the 60-minute zones look like on the 5 minute chart. Obviously, if I change the chart to 15 minutes, the zones don't change, which is a good thing. But the multi-time frame issue that we had before is no longer an issue. So we are pre-alpha, put it that way, but we understand the logic now. If I just zoom out a little bit, and we can see when they start, okay, just like they do on Ninja Trader. And you can see start here, and then they can continue to go. The only thing that we're struggling with the logic at the moment, because it's TradingView and PineScript isn't the easiest, is we've got to figure out the logic when to stop. So when a zone is broken, when support and resistance, it holds for a while, yeah. But then there's a catalyst in the markets that breaks it. And with Ninja Trader, that logic is relatively simple to program in. It's not that simple on TradingView, but we are making a lot more progress a lot quicker than we did when we tried it a year ago. Purely because TradingView has updated their code, their technology, so it's looking good. I can just again, this is just testing, so we can see all the numbers for the. I'm just going to take those off a second, if I remember how to do it properly. Yeah, okay. So just wanted to show you how that would be when sort of trading on the 5 minute with the S, for example, with different indicators. So let's just go on the expert algo first, which is simple. 5 and 6 star buys. Okay. Let's just zoom out a little bit. And I'm not going to bother with a buy step heat map or anything like that. I'm just going to show you how it makes a difference. So here, for example, 5 and 6 star buys, we don't go long into resistance. Here, don't go long into resistance. 5 star sell coming out of there was eventually a winner. 5 and 6 star sell here, Again, winner, 6-star buy. We don't go into that horrible resistance. Again, 5 6-star sell coming through that support resistance. Look at the move. Okay. Again, 6-star buy here. Quite a bit of fresh air. Works well. Um, no, it won't be in the app. We use different technology in the app for that, Mel. This is just purely for a charting for the software. We use the similar logic, but we don't use charts in the app. So um, then we've got the 5 and 6-star sell buy there. So again, it is simple. When we see uh, yeah, but you'll also find some that had resistance and blown through it. Okay, there's different logic to confluence. Okay, and that's where it is. So there are some that blow through those resistance and supports when you've got full confluence. So there's a weighting program, a weighting sort of algorithm that looks at the strength of the confluence, the volume, and compared to how many times the support and resistance throw. I'm not going to go into the logic because it's extremely complex, but that's the way it is. So for here, for example, we get a 6-star sell. We're halfway down towards this zone, and look how it just pushes through. Okay, comes back to test that zone and then comes down again. Okay, so these are the 60-minute zones. Okay, we've only been trialing it on ES for now, so because we've got the next part before in the new year will be to then start to introduce it with more zones. So for example, now if I just add that we haven't tried this properly yet, so we're going to go and this is how we test. I'm going to put another version of that on, and this time I'm going to put it on 15 minutes. Whoa, you see what I mean? Um, 3, 3, and you see how that, oh, I don't know the setting because I haven't been involved in this. It'll be 0.03 maybe. Okay, there we go. They're the same color at the moment, but we can see this a confluence is coming in here, and everything else like that. So we're building it layer on layer at the moment, but it is good news that it will be achievable, and we can see we're not there yet, okay, but we are looking at something really, really cool here. So if I, for example, now go and switch the expert, I'll go off and we go to harmonic patterns. Okay, now I'm going to go to 15-minute this time. Still got those hourly zones on there, but we can see here where we get the harmonic patterns coming in. Look at this here, because what happens is harmonic patterns respect the pivots that we're looking at anyway. Look at this bat pattern here, A pivot, B pivot, C, D. Okay, it really does respect the pivot logic that we invented for the Guardian zones way back when, which is very, very cool. So yeah, let's take that off. Let's have a look at the roller coaster. Again, guys, look at this. Comes through the 60-minute zone. Again, it breaks through that resistance, comes down to test support. Then you get a roller coaster move up. Okay, goes sideways, goes up, comes down. You get a roller coaster signal just before the support. Do the sensible thing, go short after the support, and you'll notice sometimes with the app, Mel, you get a slightly later entry, and that is why. And then you can go down south there. Okay, so very, very good. Let's put that on a 3-minute time frame. Okay, and are we on normal or Heikin-Ashi? I can't. I can actually, there we go. Hi Otis, how you doing? Yes, yeah. So here again, look at this. Coming up to test this 60-minute zone. Fails, gets a roller coaster short. Boom, away you go. This roller coaster long, you're going into resistance. Don't take it. It runs out of juice. Okay. So again, here you get a long. You've got a decent risk reward to the next zone. You take the long and you take the profit of the next zone. So all I wanted to do is introduce you and let you know that we are working on it. Okay. I spend way too much money on development with this business, probably more than I actually make on the software business, to be honest, but it is my passion. And we are working on it. Okay. This just goes to show you. And if you look on your, if I just put that back on the 15 minutes now. Okay. So if you look on your if you someone's got guardian zones now, for example, those will be pretty similar to the 60-minute zones that you see on there. Okay, very, very similar. Not quite got it exact yet because the logic is very different, and the way we put that logic into code is yeah, it's a lot different. Um, so let's just take that roller coaster off a second. A lot of testing is going off right now with settings, okay, because um, we need to automate this a little bit more. So, for example, if I change that to 0.03, you will notice, oh, have I? They just disappear. Okay, put it at 0.06, they come back, but you can see some overlaps there. Okay, so and then 0.05 is here, for example. Okay, now we need to run this through AI to figure out the exact for what we need for each time frame. But then, like the Guardian zones on NinjaTrader, they will overlap with 30 minutes daily, 15 minutes, that sort of thing. Absolutely, Richard. So if I just put 4 on here, for example, it will change that and there'll only be one zone. So if I now go and put 2 here, you'll see you've got too much there. They're looking at too many pivots. So a lot of the work that we're doing right now is trying to figure out on how to automate these where we pick the right zones and then we can start to overlap them. So when I try and put this one back on for the 15-minute, you can let me just get rid of the panel labels. Okay. When I put the 15-minute on, it gets a little bit too clustered. But again, if we go down to say 5 minutes here, it's just too clustered right now. So we've got to figure out those settings. So with threes, we might be it's like 0.05 the same. It gets more clustered. So we got to figure out how we change those settings. Okay. That sort of that gets a little bit better, but this is a lot of it is testing for me for trying to figure out those different settings, and I compare it to what AI says it does and what we get on NinjaTrader. So it's a long process. We're probably 3 months away right now. You never know. We might just click and get it. Excuse me, just close my door a second because I know my wife will be back soon because she stopped spending money and my dogs will go nuts. So yeah, that's where we are with that. It's really, really cool. I'm very, very happy with the guy William that's doing this for me in my office in Dubai. Um, so yeah, it's brilliant. It's on our way, okay, which is really, really cool for TradingView users. So watch this space next year. I'll keep updating you when I do the live sessions. I have cancelled some of the live sessions over Christmas because I do want some time off because it's been a very heavy dev year since sort of February this year, all the way through with that development. And this project is massive. I've probably had at some stages a team of over 30 people working on this from all over the world. So it's tired me out. So I am going to take some time off over Christmas because we are almost ready. Okay, so I want to go now to CAD Chef. Okay, now I'm going to go back to here. I am going to make a video on this later, but I want to go through it. I want to practice making the video with you guys. So somebody introduced this a particular forex pair to me because I only look at traditional forex pairs. Now, remember, I found a groove on this with on the 21 minute with roller coaster, but I've had a quick look on VWAP Predator and how that works as well with this particular pair because for me, I always like to learn something new, and something like this that really sort of sparked my interest was that roller coaster groove on the 21 minute with CAD Chef was just unbelievable. Okay. We did that live, I think it was last week or the week after, a week before. It was just so tradable. And it may be that next year we add this as our 10th Forex on the app. But I still need to do some work yet to see how it works with Confluence. But the roller coaster works very well on the 21 minute. Now I've been looking at CAD Chef because what we tried to do with Confluence is I need to understand how it behaves on each of those ones that bring in the full Confluence to begin with. So the work that I've been doing this week, and again, it sounds like I'm doing a lot, but I do. I don't really sleep a great deal. Okay. And now with this on here on the 2 minute, it is pretty cool. So I just want to go through a day in the life of scalping on the 2 minute with CAD Chef. So the times you see here is UTC, so it's UK time. Okay, a lot of forex traders start in the UK and go through the US morning. So that's when forex is pretty sort of, there's a lot of volume, a lot of volatility, and some great trades. So the idea with this is to try and find a groove on each one. I found the groove on the roller coaster. I'm trying to find a groove now on here, and then we'll see if we can combine them next year at some stage. So when I get a buy signal on the VWAP Predator, so with the VWAP Predator, we've got the buy signals. So this one crosses actually the VWAP. We get a buy signal here because it started below the VWAP and closed above. It has more volume than the previous candle, so it's a sign of momentum. We then see down on this vertical line here, the vertical line I've just drawn on, okay, it's not part of the indicator. All 6 time frames are green. We go along just a 1 pip above, or whatever it is, above that signal candle. Stop loss is we've got the VWAP here, and then the next excuse me, the next extension of the VWAP is where our initial stop goes. Now, we do have a ribbon on the VWAP. This is actually set to aggressive. Okay, so when I look at here, the trading style is aggressive because we need to be aggressive because we're scalping. Okay, so what we see is it goes red at this point here, but the ribbon is 4 candles in advance. It looks right. It looks into the future. So if I just go right to beginning where we are now, live on the chart, you will see the ribbon is in advance. Okay, so you've got time to make that decision. For example, if you're in a short right now and this ribbon goes green in advance, get out. Simple. Okay, so just remember that, counting 4 candles back. Oh, Lewis is going mad. His mum's here. His mum's back. Okay. Yeah. So we enter here at this point, stops here. Once we get a close above this first extension, you move the stop to the VWAP. So you're basically going one behind. Eventually, we get a close above this nest extension, so we're now locking in profit with a stop loss here. But at this stage, we go red. So we go red, count 4 candles back. This is where we're getting out at this point here. So profitable trade. Next trade, we get a buy signal here, put the stop at the VWAP. It never really goes anywhere. It doesn't take out the stop, but we get another buy signal here. If you didn't take the first one, take the second one. Or if you did take the first one, add some more to your trade. Momentum is showing to the upside, and we're getting the backup of the buyer's depth heat map. Coming down again, doesn't take the stop out again. If you didn't get in the first time, you didn't get out in the second time, you need to take the hint. You need to go long. If you did get in the first or the second time, add some more to your trade right here. Eventually, boom, away it goes. Okay. Now, once we start to get clear air away from these VWAP extensions, just follow this VWAP extension until we get the little cloud turning red here. Count 4 candles back. That's where we get out. Right. Good spot, Otis. What happens on the next candle? All 6. Yeah. So you go here. This is why my white line is here and not above the blue candle. If the very next candle on the 2 minutes goes all green, you go along above that. Yeah. Good spot. Now, later on in the day, 14:52, still afternoon, US morning, we get another buy signal. Remember, we've taken profit here as soon as that goes red. Okay, no questions, just take profit out. The next one, again, we get a buy signal here at this point. Long. Ribbon turns red. Count back 4 candles. That's where you get out profit. Okay, so let's go to where we are today and see what sort of trades have been sort of acted today. So there was a sell signal at this point here. Okay, it came down, but it changed green here, so it was a little bit of a profit. Okay, not a lot. We had a sell signal this morning, 7:42 UK time. Good time to start trading forex is around 7 a.m. Great move. Ribbon turns green, take your profit. So today there's been 2 trades. There's a third trade on right now because we're all red. We're good. It hasn't turned green yet. You know, a stop is here right now. We just need to get a little, you know, it's pulled back here, a little groove, and it will go again. So again, I'm looking at a totally new type of instrument for me. But what I'm doing is trying to build those confluences. So again, when we looked at this one here, we saw this was in the groove. Okay, it's still in the groove to me. Let me just get rid of that a second. Okay, this was the last trade that was on Monday this week. Winner, chicken dinner. This is where the manager comes in, purely because we had a rejection of the highs on higher than average volume. Let's measure that rejection. Okay, we go from the low of this rejection candle to the high. Let's just change that out, get rid of that, click OK. There's the 50% retracement. It's gone more than 50%. You take your profit at this time. Look, this is the importance of the manager. Yes, with the roller coaster, we print a trailing stop. And that trailing stop is on a 34 EMA, purely because we're on a 21-minute time frame and we don't want to be too aggressive. But we have the backstop of the manager to help us manage those trades. So we have a rejection of the highs, more than 50%. The cyan dot indicates it's higher than average volume. Get out. This is a difference. So going to the trailing stop is a 0.15% move times 100 leverage is 15%. Yeah. look at that from that perspective. When that candle closes there, that's 40%, okay, with just 100x leverage. There's a massive difference, and this is why we have to use the manager. And this is why I spent all that money all those years ago to develop it, because it looks at behavior during the trade. And if you can understand that behavior, see there's a rejection of more than 50%, it's higher than average volume, get out. Simple rule, just get out. Okay. This is where we are now. What I want to do here, and I don't know because we've not even trialed it on forex now, is add that indicator that we just looked at. So this could be totally screwy Louie here. So let me just, so we want 1 hour. We're on the 21 minutes. I just want to see where the hour is. I want to go 3, and I want to go 0 point. I don't know whether this is right for forex or not. I think we've not, oh, we've got loads down here. Wow. Okay, we've got too many, I think. Um, so, zone percentage, 0.05. What does that do? That just takes them all off. Okay, so whoa. See the difference? Just decimal places make a huge difference here. So I actually think 0.05 is probably in and around where we need to be. Okay. But it just goes to show you this was a big move. Once we start to settle down, so how does the logic work? I've taught you this so many times, it's unbelievable. You see this pivot here, this clustering here, this pivot here. Once we've had 1, 2, 3 touches in and around the same zone with a certain percentage, it starts to print the 60-minute zone. Okay. This is really cool stuff. Yeah, really, really cool. Obviously down here we've got too many, so there's still work to be done on settings and all that sort of stuff, but this is, I'm happy with what's going off with this right now. Any questions on the roller coaster or the VWAP Predator before we move on? Because I'm extremely happy that I'm actually learning something new, a new forex pair that I've never traded before. Really sort of looking at how uh, you know something totally new can actually respect those behavioral rules that I've written all those years ago into software. It's in the book and all that sort of stuff. It's just good to show that it works for anything. And it makes me feel confident that we do have a great system involved in here. You see, look at these trays that we talked about the other week on the roller coaster, absolutely smashing it. Okay, so I'm going to look at the slingshot now as well. So slingshot is this is 10-minute on CAD Chef. Excuse me. Now slingshot is very important. It depends on the level of subscription. You'll see here I'm TV Pro because I'm a even though I'm not a professional trader anymore, I was, and they want to charge me more money, so I have to pay all that money, blah blah blah. But that my basically my look back period is infinite. Yeah. But if you're on a lower level, thanks, Richard. If you're on a lower level and you can only look back 5,000 days or candles or whatever, with the slingshot, this is the setting here where it says bars to skip 5,000. I need to skip 5,000 to get a certain, because I can look back way too far. So if you're only on 5,000 look back, the bars to skip will change to say 2,500 or something like that. It's something you're going to have to play with because you have a different level of subscription to TradingView than me. Each level, as you go higher and higher, looks back more historically over data. Any software looks historically over data and starts to plot those algorithms. Okay, so it's very, very important you understand this bars to skip. Okay, so I put it on 5,000. Okay, now with this, it is the chart looks a little sort of clustered, but If we just zoom out and keep your chart something like this, be aware. So this gets a type 1 buy at this point here, starts to print a trailing stop, and is a move like you wouldn't believe. Okay, really strong until it takes it out. Here we get a pullback, but it doesn't give us the signal to go long. But it was a good signal. Remember, we're on a 10-minute time frame here, so it's not a missed opportunity because the rules weren't met and it was a very shallow pullback. There are things you can add to this, like say the VWAP Predator. Have we got it on there? Let's add the VWAP Predator. Um, Bear with me. So I'm going to add the VWAP Predator, but what I'm going to do with the VWAP Predator, I'm going to take those extensions off for now, just to clean up the chart. It's going to leave the VWAP on. Oh, I need to buy signal. Just going to clean up those charts a little bit. Okay. So this is where combining non-correlated indicators that work on totally different rules work. Okay. So let's go back to this original trade where we did get a signal. Okay. We got a type 1 buy at this point. We're going to go long. The entry point is here in red if I zoom in. Okay. Entry points here. We pull back into these pullback zones again. Oh, look at VWAP is holding support. What a surprise. Then we get a buy signal on the VWAP. All 6 time frames are green. We get another buy signal on the VWAP. We get another buy signal on the VWAP. We can start adding here. We can really start adding. Then it goes parabolic. Okay. So we start off with 10,000 lots and we end up with 40,000 lots. Yeah. We let it run all the way until it takes out a trailing stop. Fine. Now we get a pullback. It pulls back into a pullback zone for the slingshot, but we don't get a signal. What's happening with the VWAP? We get a buy signal on the VWAP. All 6 time frames are green on there. Away we go. How do we manage this? Let's put the manager on. Got to find it first. The manager. Okay. There's the manager. Now we put the manager on, we can see we get the buy signal here, comes up. Where's our first big rejection? Okay, there's a rejection here with this doji. This is suspect, if you like. Is that rejection of the highs on higher than average volume more than 50%? Go measure 50%, just more. You can get out and take your profit there if you wish. If you think, oh, that's 50-50, these are the signs now where you want to be getting out. Okay. That's more than 50% higher than average volume. However, with the manager, remember, green has more volume than the previous candle, but grey is an up candle that has less volume. And we start to see these slightly higher highs, higher lows. It's like a roller coaster getting to the top. It's just running out of speed as it comes back down again. And this is a sign to get out when that candle closes. So all of a sudden, I've got my slingshot, which is giving me some great trades, but sometimes it misses a trade because the pullback is too shallow. Doesn't mean it's not a great trade. You just need the backup of something else, like the VWAP Predator. The VWAP Predator is there for momentum. It's a momentum indicator. If it's giving you a buy signal after pulling back in a pullback zone from the slingshot, there's a good chance it's going to go. And it does, okay? So again, this is just 10 minutes on the CHF. Let's just go back in time a little bit and see if we get any more signals. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. So this type 3 here was a trend failure. It came down at this point here and it was ended up break even. We had a type 1 sell at this point here, and there was trailing stop printed, and we got out a little bit of profit. I'm not saying 10 minutes is the right time frame, by the way. This was good. Type 1 sell, nice all the way down to target 2. There was a big rejection on higher than average volume there. Not a bad time frame. Let's go smaller, shall we? Let's go 3 minutes. Okay. Wow. Okay. Uh, Now I'm going to have to change the bias depth heat map to scalping because that's on day trading setting. Okay, so here we get a type 2 sell. We're good to go. Doesn't take out the stop because the stop's always above the previous pivot, or if you've got the VWAP predator on there above the VWAP. Away it goes again, all the way down, takes out the trailing stop at this point here. Was there any opportunity to use the manager to get out on that trade? Not really. Okay, this was just it was just a good trade. This is where we are right now. Um, we've had a pullback into a pullback zone, and we've had a sell signal on the VWAP. Sell signal on the VWAP looks like it's good for a short right now as well. That's pretty cool. What do we look like on the 3 minute here? Again, here we came down. We didn't get a signal. We got a sell signal on the VWAP. Pretty cool here. You can see how this target 3 actually does act as support here. Very, very strong. 3 minutes not bad for scalping. I think I'd have to do a bit more work on there with a slingshot, but I think it looks pretty okay. Remember, slingshot's about pullbacks. Any questions on the slingshot? It looks a little different on TradingView to NinjaTrader. But it's a very cool tool because we want to identify and measure those pullbacks and look for those trades. 3 types of trades. There are, and again, there's training for this anyway, but and that's in the playlist. There's a type 2 buy or sell. Okay. There's a type 3. So let's just go on a higher time frame so we can see those. Let's go 12 minutes. So there's a type 1 buy or sell, a type 2 buy or sell, and then there's a type 3, which is a trend failure. So let's try and find a type 3 for you. There's a type 3 there, that trend failure on that little pullback here. Let's find a more obvious one. Don't seem to happen a lot with this. Some instruments, type 3s, happen a lot. Okay. Maybe it's just the time frame. Let's go 5 minutes, see what happens. Yeah, I think combining VWAP with any of the one strategies is a really good combination because if you do miss some, you get the momentum, you can go with the VWAP. But if you are getting in them and you're in them early and you get VWAP, you can add to your position because we always want to ensure that we're making the most out of every position, and that VWAP gives you an opportunity to monopolize on a big move. Here, for example, here, type 1 buy, we get a buy signal on the VWAP, buy signal on the VWAP. We can monopolize that move, okay? We can get more for the same. So with the VWAP, it gives us opportunities to add more contracts if you're futures, more lots if you're forex, just to give you that opportunity to make the most of a move. You don't know, you haven't got a crystal ball that the move is going to be big, okay? All you can do is follow the same rules. The likelihood is if you do get a VWAP early on in the move, for slingshot or for roller coaster or for expert algo, there's a good likelihood that that is momentum building and that's the time to add. They all, so Mel, they all work well together. The reason the last 12 years, I've only developed all the indicators that are non-correlated. So you'll see the basic confluence bundle, which is the expert algo, the roller coaster, the VWAP predator, and the bias depth heat map. They're all non-correlated, but when combined together, make a very strong confluence. The more advanced confluence strategy will add things like the range breakout. But again, combining them all to anything that you've got, any one strategy that you've got, if you add the VWAP predator to it, you will identify momentum straight away and add more to it. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't matter what you're using. So let's go really crazy here. Let's add the range breakout to here. So bear with me a second. We've got time for this. We're doing some good work here. My WhatsApp is blowing up. What's happening? Just bear with me a second. What's going off? Uh, Nothing spectacular. Okay, so range, breakout, defining the range. Let's add this. We want to be on 15 minutes. And now I'm going to define here. So I want to be on London. Starting hours at 3 a.m. That's correct. I want to show them. I don't want to be on New York Gold. I want to be New York Stock Exchange at 9:30. Yes, yes, yes. Click OK. Okay. So with this, we can see the opening range for New York yesterday. Okay, we're not going to go along out of that range into that 60-minute zone. Woo, it works. Okay, London range today, we're not going to go long out of that range because guess what? We've got resistance up above. Are there opportunities to go shorter out of that range? Maybe on a smaller time frame. So what I'm going to do is, the good thing about here is we can see this break in this range on this. I'm going to put red dots. I'm going to sync in layout. And then what I'm going to do is, oh, we're on ES, aren't we? Okay, so now on ES, what I want to do is get rid of harmonics on here. Get rid of that. No, let's leave that on. And let's add. I'm going to go time frame here, 3 minutes. Okay. I'm going to add VWAP predator. I can't see the wood for the trees. Okay. Oh. So on the left-hand chart, we've identified 60-minute zones, okay, and 15-minute zones. And we can see when we get the London Open from this morning, it's inside of that opening range for the New York previous day's New York Open. We've got big resistance up above. We're not going to take a long out there. More interested if it breaks down below the low of this New York range, okay, which it did. We're not necessarily going to trade that off that 15-minute time frame because they're big candles. But look, see what that red line is? See what that red line is? We get a sell signal on the VWAP predator on the 3 minutes to go short. Okay, nice little scalp, and we literally just tipping that 60-minute zone there, take the profit. Any questions on that? Didn't even, I know they work together. I know the behavior of every strategy. They are non-correlated strategies, but it's just a prime example that by adding the VWAP predator to any of the strategies, first of all, you understand this behavior, okay? Really, really strong behavior. We can see that there was no trade yesterday long on the New York Open because we're going into resistance, and it failed and it came back down again. With the London Open today, we can see there was no room up above, but I'm only interested if it breaks down below. So on a separate chart, I mean, even if this was 2 minutes, okay, I like 2 minutes. Where are we? Even if this was 2 minutes here, A little late. Again, you've got to get the combination right. So maybe the 3 minute was the right combination. Again, I've never tried it on ES before. We get a good signal to go long. What if we actually put something else on there? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the roller coaster. No trade on the roller coaster there. Okay, that's fine. Maybe if we change the time frame, it might work, but he didn't work there. Okay, but look, the VWAP Predator's getting us the trade. Let's go 2 minutes, see what happens. Oh, we are on Heikinashi, aren't we? Yeah, we're on Heikinashi now. Okay. So no roller coaster was no good. Yeah. What about the expert algo? Is that a good combination? I don't know. Let's have a look. Expert algo. Uh, there was actually earlier on. It did notice there was things earlier on, but that's where it goes. But no, my point is always use normal candles on the VWAP Predator. The point is, no matter what strategy you are using, the VWAP Predator helps you. Yeah. Remember, every strategy is behavioral. There's different behaviors. We can, with this range breakout, we define the opening range and we look to trade out of that opening range later on in the day, or if it comes back through, we're looking to trade that. That's a specific strategy for a specific time of the day and for a specific behavior. Adding the VWAP Predator gives us options to trade. So for example, here, there's the opening range for the breakout. It comes down, sorry, goes up, it comes back down, it fails there, starts to enter that range again. Let's move that line to around about here, okay? Why have I moved it to there? This is a big opening range. It's failed to go through that resistance, and now we're testing this, and we can use this support and resistance now to hide a stop loss above. Are there any trades on the VWAP Predator that we can trade within that specific that move down to test this bottom of the range? Because this is where we had the low of the opening range. The likelihood is it's going to go down and just blah, 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 all the way down. Okay. Are there opportunities to trade that particular trade? There wasn't here, but look at this move. Understand the behavior. It's coming down. It's coming back up. It's testing the VWAP. We get a sell signal. That's when we go short. Understanding the behavior. I mean, I've stopped my apprentices now. My final apprentice had his last session on this week, on Monday. Okay. I have got no more apprentices now for this foreseeable future because I haven't opened it up. But understanding behavior is very important. I know Mel is one of my ex-apprentices and he understands this. Is okay, we've had the opening range. We've hit all of that resistance. It's coming back down. This opening range is 50 odd ticks. That's worth a trade for me. Okay. Definitely worth a trade. So, oh, we've got a CL. Hang on a minute. I've got a CL signal. What does CL look like? Ooh, bit of resistance there. Bit of support, I should say. What time are we in the US? We got oil pit open in 13 minutes. What data we got today? Let me have a quick look at the data. 9:45 Canadian data. We've got FOMC later. It's going to be very slow morning, I think. I'm just going to wait. So with oil on the app, there is a signal, but it is at support, and I don't think there's enough juice. The juice could come when we get the oil pit open. 58.30. Bear with me a second. 58.30. So I just want to look on my confluence. Okay, very small risk, actually worth the risk at 58.30. I'm just going to put an order on CL, 2 contracts, stop market 58.30, sell.
Order submitted.
Okay. So stop. I'm just going to go below that low, but we do have a very small 36 tick risk on this short for oil here. There is a bit of support underneath, but what we've got is the oil pit open in 11 minutes time. That could be the catalyst to push it through this low and get it going. So I'm not discounting that. Just put my order on now. Okay. Where are we? So yeah, this was a great move. Let me just put this in a different color so you can see it, and then sync in layout. So we can see here, this trade all the way down was very, very cool, all the way down to the close really. And that was the move that we needed during in that space. Once it hits the low of this opening range, which is here, that's when I'd take my profit. Okay. In this situation, I'm only interested in trading down to the low of this opening range. Yeah. In this situation, I'm only trading down below into that support. Nothing else. Yeah. Any questions on that? CAD Chef short still good. Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions now. Not okay. So we get this first sell signal here on the VWAP predator. Okay, pretend you haven't taken this one. Yeah, and you're taking this one. Where would you enter? Would you enter 1 tick below the signal candle? Would you enter below this pivot? B or A? Answers in the chat, please. Forget what happened to the right. Where would you enter? Correct. B, the previous pivot. This was a rejection at that price. You need to make sure it's gone through that rejection before you enter. If the pivot is too far away from the signal candle, don't take the trade. Simple. Okay. So discount that one. Your stop would be just above this pivot. Okay. Because you want to be nice and tight. This is on a 2-minute time frame. You're scalping. Okay. Now, let's just change that to red. So now you've pushed through, you've pulled back, you're scalping, you're risk-free. Yeah. You've got to be more aggressive. Okay. Now, if I draw this line into this pivot, okay, once price action breaks this previous low pivot, you will adjust your stop above that previous high pivot. Okay. Some simple things, but you must remember that when you're scalping, it's a different mindset. You've got to be more aggressive. You've got to make it risk-free. You've got to lock in profit really, really quickly. If it comes back against you and you take a little bit of profit, that's fine. But if you've got a scalping mindset, you've got to be damn quick. Yeah, that's the thing. So it's now gone below there. Our ribbon is still red. We're still good. We're not going to get out. We're going to just adjust above this pivot, just above that pivot there with that trailing stop. Our next decision really depends on if this changes to green, or we get a scenario where we come down, we come up, and then when we come down, and we break this previous low pivot, we adjust above that pivot. Okay, just hop, pivot hopping, but it's got to break the low pivot, or the ribbon turns green, we get out. But right now, there's no risk on this trade. Okay, purely because we've been sensible with our entry below that pivot. Sorry, here. Been sensible with our entry below that previous pivot after that signal. Stop was initially above there. We've pulled all the way down here. Once we've gone all the way down here, let's make it risk-free. If it pulls back and takes us out, we've lost no money. It pulls back, we get a lower high. Once it breaks that pivot here, we adjust our stop to this point here. Now we just watch the ribbon. If it turns green, we get out. Wait sure we turns green on the candle close. You've got to wait every 2 minutes. You can see the countdown on TradingView, 1 minute 40 seconds here. Okay, so you will notice the ribbon goes wider or thinner or changes color every candle close in advance. Yeah, it's a good trade. So this is not a sales pitch, guys. If you haven't got the VWAP Predator and you've got another one of our signal indicators, please add it to your arsenal. It will give you more trading opportunities, but more importantly, it will give you, so that's my order in on oil. Let's just apply this stop just above there. Okay, and put an initial sort of target on there. 5 minutes before oil pit open. That's not good, but you've got to go with it. Raj, please look for an email from William. He's there to help you. Okay, not me, because I'm really busy trying to manage a project of 30 different people. It purely is, it's not a user error. It's just that you don't understand how to set up the phone. There are PDFs that he will send you to show you how to set up the notifications on the phone. They are happening. And again, they have the time of the notification, everything like that. Once you've got that sorted out, you'll be fine. So please respond to Will's email and he will set up a Zoom call and go through with you. Okay. I can't do anything right now. That's what William's there for. Okay. US dollar CHF. Let's have a quick look at that. Yep, he'll see the email, definitely. US dollar CHF. So the manager is, that's a nice trade on US dollar CHF for sure. Yeah, hit the VWAP to the tick and then it's come down ever since. Very good trade. Okay, so difference between manager and EMA cloud. Let's go back to here. So the EMA cloud up here is it's a non-linear support and resistance zone. So on here, I'm on 34 EMA and I'm on a 30-minute CAD chef. Okay, maybe I'll just change that to 21. So the idea with the EMA cloud is it's a non-linear support and resistance zone. So we can see this 6-star buy from the expert algo here on the 21 minute, comes up, tests here, doesn't close below the EMA cloud. So you stay in and keep going. Tests here, doesn't go below the EMA cloud, comes up, and then eventually we get a close below the EMA cloud and you take the trade out. So here it's a very simple non-linear support and resistance zone. The settings you should have on there are 21 or 34. That's about it. Unless you're swing trading off a daily time frame, you'd need a 55 or an 89. But the sweet spots for EMAs from anything from 5 minute to 30 minute will be either 21 or 34. If you're below 5 minute, you'd probably be looking at a 13 and 21. Yeah. So that's where we have, that's just a basic non-linear support and resistance. It's a very cool tool. Okay. Now, if we add the manager, I'll find it. Okay. So what the manager does is allows you to manage to micromanage sort of trades that are with the behavior. So they color the candles in, and the best thing for you to do is for me to show you the get you the link for the training video. Okay, so bear with me a second. Because I've only literally got 2 minutes, and it's a 30-minute training video. VWAP be official. Share, copy. Okay, so yeah, so EMA cloud settings for 5 minute to 30 minute is either 21 or 34. Yeah. If you are below 5 minute and you're scalping, you need to be 13 or 21. Yeah. So you see the 21s in the middle. And then if you're way up there and you're swing trading, your EMA cloud needs to be setting on 55 or 89. Okay. So that is a YouTube video for the manager. The manager is a trade management brain, and it looks and compares volume from candle to candle. I need to take that off. Ikanashi. So it looks at it candle to candle and allows you to understand the volume. So when we're looking at here, for example, the time to get out here on the manager was this rejection of the highs of more than 50% on higher than average volume. That's the only time that's happened in this whole move. Okay. So this would get you out at this point here. It closes below the EMA cloud at this point here. The manager is a more aggressive trade management tool, but it's really, really cool. But if you miss that and it goes below that EMA cloud, you've got to get out. Okay. Does that make sense, Sahil? So you've got to really understand that the manager compares candle to candle, average volumes. A green candle and a grey candle is not candle, but a grey candle has less volume than the previous candle. So look at this here. Green. We've got a rejection of the highs on the green candle here with more volume. It's a sign. We do gap up. It tries again. The volume's running out of juice. It's getting to the top of that roller coaster. It just can't go anymore. We've rejected. Get out. Consistent trade management is very important when we're trading, whether we're scalping, day trading, or swing trading. We're using the same rules. What the manager does is define rules that you follow in and out all the time. Yeah. And again, with the EMA cloud, it is your last ditch. Yeah. It closes below the EMA cloud for the first time. You've missed that. Got to get out. Okay. Okay, guys, I am done for the day. Anybody in the oil trade from the app? Yeah, I'm in it as well. I'm in 6 ticks profit right now, so just got to let it run really. Okay, cool. Coolio. Cool. Well done, Mal. Right, guys, I'm going to get going. Raj, I will let William know that you are emailing and you're still having issues. Okay. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Take care.